So now I want to do a video on fusible applique and how to use the applique pressing sheet here at the ironing board. This is the technique that I use for a lot of our patterns. This one I'm going to demo today is our up, up, and away pattern. It's a little airplanes in the sky with stars. So what you first have to do is every one of our patterns comes with templates that are full size and reverse. For fusible applique, you always want to have reverse templates. And you need to get fusible web. This is Heat and Bond Featherweight. It's a really nice, lightweight fusible web I enjoy using. And you lay it down on your placement draw on your templates. You lay it down on the templates. I started tracing here. And then you follow the notes. So this one says trace 3 of each in black. That's because there are 3 planes. I'm only doing 1 today, so I'm only going to trace 1. But I am going to mark them with the color. And that these are the eyes. Yes, all planes should have eyes so they can see where they're flying. And then we have the plane itself. And when I'm doing fusible applique, I trace all of my pieces with these Sharpie ultra fine point markers. The tip of these markers, if I can get it on the camera right for you, there we go, is the same thickness as a pair of scissors, the blades on the scissors. So you don't have to guess which side of the line to trace on. If you use just a Sharpie fine point marker, it's much thicker, and you have to decide, do you cut on the outer side of the line, the inside of the line, or down the middle. So I like to use this one because I know it's much more accurate. Not that you really need to be super accurate with this technique, but accuracy is always a good thing to strive for. So this is the plane. And the plane has a smiley face that you can go in and either hand, machine, embroider, or just mark it. So I just mark it on the back, on the template, so I can mark it on my fabric. And then here are the windows. Actually, they're the outer eyes. And we just trace those up. And then these are the tail. Okay, once you get everything traced, you want to cut the shapes out roughly outside the drawn line. And if they're the same color, like I have the 2 black eyes ganged up together, I can just roughly cut out the 2 pieces together. I don't have to cut them individually. And you'll notice I'm cutting off the scraps of fusible. The larger scraps I keep in a drawer by my sewing cabinet. And when I need a small piece of fusible, I don't have to grab the whole roll. I can just grab a piece out of the bag of scraps. There's the airplane. And then these are all yellow, so they can stay together. And then these are the little windows that go on the plane. So once you have that done, you're ready to iron the fabric onto the back side or the wrong side of your fabric. So in my case, I'm going to make the plane purple. And this is a batik, so there really isn't a right or a wrong side. These are batiks from Anthology Fabrics, their Lava collection. So I iron out all the wrinkles. If there's any wrinkles in the fabric, you want to get rid of them. And then you're going to press your pieces onto the wrong side of the fabric. So in this case, the purple is the plane. And each fusible web has directions on how long you leave the heat on to get it to adhere. Make sure you read the directions for the fusible web you're using. This one's only about 10 seconds, so we're good. And then I just roughly cut it out of the fabric, so I don't have to deal with the whole chunk of fabric. And then you cut it out on the drawn line. So we're just going to do that with the rest of the pieces, and we'll be ready to assemble. So when you're cutting, always cut at the back of your scissors. Don't try to cut at your tips because that's 8 inches from your hand and you have less control. So if you leave it in the blade and I rotate the fabric into the blade, I'm not moving the scissors, I'm moving the fabric. Another pro tip is I keep all of my scraps of black and white fabric in 2 different drawers in front of my ironing board, so anytime I need a little piece, I can just grab it out of my drawers. So I have all my pieces together. Now to move on to the actual applique pressing sheet. So here's the placement drawing. In our patterns, you'll always find a placement drawing, and this tells you where all the pieces and parts go. And then you take an applique pressing sheet, which is a Teflon sheet, and you lay it over the drawing. And now you can see through the drawing, you can see the drawing through the applique pressing sheet. And we can arrange all our pieces on here and iron, and anything that sticks to the sheet will come off. Anything sticking to fabric to fabric will iron together. And so how you start is you start with, on this guy, we're going to start with assembling his 2 eyes first because the black goes on top of the white, which then goes on top of the plain. So you want to start with your smallest piece first and build out. So there's my black, my white, my white. And you use a pin and you scratch the back of these and they become a crack and peel, and they're much easier to peel off. Just like that. Okay. And I'm checking to make sure that the glue is adhered to the back of the fabric and it's not stuck on the paper. Sometimes I go so fast I don't notice. So glue side down. Here's the first eye. We're going to lay it on the sheet, aligning the edges just like the drawing. And then here, if I want to know where to put the black, I can fold the white back and leave a crease mark. And that's when I know. But now with the eye, we know it fits right in the eye, so it's easy. But if you had something else, I think here I'll be able to show you it as well. Well, you're just going to press the 2 pieces together. And the sheet does get hot, so be aware of that, because I just jumped. And then you can go ahead and do the next eye. Make sure it's glue side down. Now, if you get glue on your iron, you can use the iron off cleaner to clean it. I covered that in my favorite things at the ironing station. And I did a whole video on how to clean your iron, so make sure you check those out. And there are the eyes. Now you can see on this one, the black kind of extends past the white. And the way, because of the way we're doing this, I have the opportunity to clean up that edge a little bit. So that's all cleaned up. So again, they peel right off. The glue stays on the fabric, not on my sheet. And then we're ready to assemble the airplane. So again, scratch and peel. Key goes on here. I just tap it down so I have it so it's not sliding all over the place. And I can see where this back tail goes based on the drawing, which may be hard to see in the video, but it is right there. And then when I cut this, I didn't round it quite enough, so I'm going to fix that now. So you have an opportunity before you iron them together to clean them up, make sure they look the way you want them to look. So then we're going to put this down. We're going to iron him in place. That's the back fin on the plane. And then this thing is sliding on me, sorry. And this is the other wing. Okay, so there's the wing. Iron that in place. And now we need to know where to put the eyes. And they go just, and this guy goes right next to it. You can see the white underneath, and I don't really like the white underneath, so I'm going to clean that up as well. And this is just, you know, we give you the guide for the placement drawing and templates, but sometimes just from tracing and cutting, it get a little distorted. So now's the time to clean it up the way you want it to look. Okay, so now I want to know where these eyes are going to go. So what you can do is you can take the top of a plane and you can pull it off the sheet. And I'm going to put a crease. I'm going to fold this back to where the bottom of the eyes are and put a crease in the fabric. Now when I open this up, I know to set these eyes right on the crease, and they will match the original drawing. So those are ready to press. And then we've got, let's see what else we've got left here. We've got the 2 windows and the nose of the plane, which is literally, in this case, oops, I didn't stick. I didn't give them enough heat. Okay, there are the eyes. Then we're going to put the nose of the plane on. And I don't know which way this goes, so I'm going to flip this up and lay it on the paper to figure it out. So I had it upside down. And I don't know why my eyes are not sticking. We will deal with that in a minute. And there's his little nose. And then to figure out the windows, we're just going to take those off right now. See what I did in a minute. We're going to crease there. And then to figure out where the bottom of the window is, I'm going to do a vertical fold. So now I have a plus sign there, so I know that goes there. And the same goes with that one. So those are the windows. And I think what happened with the white is that when I was telling you we checked the paper to see the glue, I didn't get the glue on the white. So how do we save these? I'll show you a trick. So there's my little airplane. He's all done except for his eyes. So we can take that off. And what you can do is take a piece of fusible web. This is one of the reasons I keep those scraps. And lay the little eyes on the fusible web. We don't need to waste all of this. We put the eyes on the fusible web. Fusible web is up. Wrong side of the fabric is down. I fold the applique pressing sheet over the top and I iron it. Then I let it cool. And then you'll have a little bit of fusible on your mat, which is the waste from this. You can just roll it off with your fingers. And then you can cut out the eyes, and they will have fusible web on the back of them. Okay, and then you can peel the paper off, and there's the fusible web on the back of the fabric. So that's a trick if you end up peeling it off and it doesn't have the glue on it. So then we can take this guy back over here and put the eyes back on. And press it down. And there we go. There is my little plane. He is ready to go. I'm going to let him cool before I peel him off. But he is ready to go on a background. And that is how to use an applique pressing sheet. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've ever used an applique pressing sheet and if you have any tips and tricks you want to share with us. Thanks!